through three operations: insert, update, and delete operation, right? Now I am explaining how to retrieve the data from database. So the same code is used instead of writing the query and creating the object. Query select split from table. Now before means instead of select statement, when we executed insert statement, update statement, and delete statement, that time we have used this function execute update method.
Yes.
Okay, for execute the SQL query. But right now we are executing select statement. So DBMS defines some queries in other some means there is a different categories of the SQL statement. DDL statement is there. DDL stands for data definition language, in which create table queries comes under DDL. Alter table if you want to change structure. Truncate means deletion. Delete if you want to delete the data, then truncate query is also there. Rename table and drop if you want to drop the table. So this all statement comes under DDL, data definition language. For DML, which we have gone through, insert, update, delete, this three SQL statement comes under DML, data manipulation language. And right now we are executing select statement, which comes under DRL, data retrieval language. Then some other SQL queries also there, which is used by the database administrator: commit, rollback, save point, transactional control language, and data control language, grant, revoke. So in the last session we have discussed about insert, update, delete. That time we have used this method execute update. Okay. Now I am executing a select statement, so this time we will use execute query instead of execute update. So update is only used for DML, data manipulation language. Means if you are executing insert, update, delete query from Java code, then you need to write execute update method. But in case of select statement, we will use method execute query. One more method is there, execute, third one, which is common for all the SQL statement. Okay. But it's return Boolean values. If you execute a DML statement using execute method, third one, then it will return false. If you execute DRL, means select statement, using this third method execute, then it will return true. So when we use a execute method, third one, then we can't sure that your data is modified in the database or not. That's why third method is generally not used. So two methods is generally used: execute update and execute query. So right now we are executing a select statement. That's why I will use execute query method. So data statement dot execute. So when we executing this query, obviously it will return some data from the database. It will return rows. So we don't know how many rows present in the EMP table. It may be 5 or 15 or 50 lakhs. Okay. So here we required some object in which we can retrieve the data. So result set is there, which is present in SQL package. So here I am creating object of result set RS. When this result set pointed to that data, means when we see in this slide, result set is just like a pointer that pointing to each and every row in the table. So when we execute our query, in the right side when you see that result set RS equals to statement dot execute query, then it will return the address of zeroth row. Zeroth row means this is the first record, then second, third, fourth. Zeroth means your column name. Okay. So it return the address of 0th record. I want to fetch first record, so we need to move this pointer into the first record. So for moving the pointer into the next record, next method is there. So we need to call rs.next method. Okay. When this code is executed, it results at pointed the 0th record. So I want to point this results at to the first record. Then I need to write next method. I need to call next method. And after that we can retrieve the data. So in the MP table 3 column employee ID. Employee ID is an integer. That's why we will use method get int. And get int method we need to pass column name ID, which we have defined in the table. Second, the employee name is a string, so get string method is there. Name, then salary. Salary is a double, so get double methods. Now I'm executing this code. So right now we have called rs.next method only one time, so it will only printed first record. It will not printed all the record in the table. Only one record is there. And in this code, no need to use scanner class. So it will print the first record. Actually, only one record is there. I am inserting one more record from here. One more record. So the record is there. So this code will only print the only single record because we invoke the rs.next method only one time. Okay. So it will return first record. I want to print each and every record, so we need to surround this code in the while loop. So while loop rs.next is a function that return boolean value. So until it will find true value, means is there many more record in the table, then it will return true and false. So until it will it falls more record in the table, it will return true value and it will print all the record. So this is the way how we can access the data from the database. Select query and execute query method is there. You just catch the result in the result set object and just check using next method. If I pass one condition here, then it will return only single record.
Yeah.
The prepare statement, so we need to write question mark. So I want to access only 101. It will return 101 record. Is that clear?
Yes.
So if you provide any condition here, then obviously one record will be returned. So no need to write while. We can write here if also, because only one record is there. So if your query will going to return n number of record, more than one record, that time we write while. So these are four basic operations of database: insert, update, delete, and select. Now I am explaining this same four operations using Oracle database. So in case of Oracle, I'm creating a different new program. Yeah, code is same for all the database. Only driver name we need to change. So if you want to connect with Oracle, so driver name will be, yeah, we need to write oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. This is the again this is the packages Oracle JDBC driver, and inside this package Oracle OS kept over here. This Oracle driver is a class name, and connection string also need to change. In the case of MySQL, we use this JDBC is a protocol name, MySQL is a driver name, and this is the location and name of the database. So in the same way, JDBC is as it is. Now my driver name is Oracle colon theme. Oracle colon theme. This is a complete driver name, Oracle colon theme. Then again same localhost. Now port number of Oracle, we have I have installed Oracle 10G. Version is Oracle 10G Express Edition. So by default port number of Oracle 10G is 1521. And in the MySQL we have created firstly a database. After that we inside that database we create the table. But Oracle directly in the Oracle we directly create the table. No need to create database. So here we need to mention version name, means which type of edition you are using. So right now we have installed, I have installed Oracle 10G Express Edition. Okay, there is a two type of editions of Oracle. First one, Express Edition. This Express Edition is used for generally educational purpose, freely. It's a free for learning purpose. And second is Enterprise Edition, which is generally used by companies, corporate level. It's commercial use, Enterprise Edition. So we are using Express Edition, so we need to write here XC. XC stands for Express Edition. Okay, this is not any database name, it's just edition of your Oracle. Then user ID of this Oracle is by default system, and password which we have provided at the time of installation, admin. So this is a connection string of Oracle. Now rest of the code will be same. Now I am creating a table EMP in the Oracle. So Just we need to click here, go to database homepage. We can also run Oracle from the command line, but we generally prefer to use the Oracle from the web browser. So when we click on the go to database homepage, then it will open in the web browser. Here we are providing the user ID, system is by default, password admin at the time of installation which we have. Here inside we have to click on SQL. And SQL commands. This is the workspace where we write our SQL query, and on the right side you can see the run button there. When we click on run, then it will execute this query which we have right here, and on the bottom side you can see the result. So I am creating a table, create table, empty, and the name is QID. Click on run button. That's the table created successfully. Almost query is same as SQL. Select statement. Now when I click on run button, then it will execute this query once again. Okay. I want to execute. Suppose you have write more than one query in this workspace, and I want if you want to execute only this query, so just select this query. After that, you click on the run button. Okay. If you're not selecting this query, then it will execute both statements, this one and this one. So I want to execute only this one. Just select and click on that. So no data found because it's right now table is empty. Now inserting this record from this code. So we have load the Oracle driver. We have established the connection with Oracle. This is the user ID and password. Now when I executing this code, then it will give class not found exception. At the time of when we write the code for MySQL, we need to download one jar file. This is com.mysql.jdbc, right?
Yes.
Same, I need to download this driver also. Let's see first what is the exception. It giving the exception. Giving the exception class not found. We're unable to find where this folder is located. So we need to download this jar file. Is Google. Oracle JDBC driver download. Yeah, this is ojdbc.jar. This jar file is required, ojdbc6.jar. And or when we installing Oracle, then it by default install in the C drive. Oracle exe is there, and in this folder that driver is also present here. So if you don't want to download from internet, then you can directly search that jar file in the Oracle installation directory. So here I am searching where is the jar file. You can search. Yeah, ojdbc14.jar. This jar file is required. Simply copy this jar file, paste it at any location. Now I'm adding that jar file in this project. Just right click here, build a path, and use add external archive. Stop. Yeah. So you can find all this Oracle .jdbc.driver in this jar file. When we extract that jar file, then we can easily find where is the Oracle driver classes. So just add this jar file. Now I am executing this code. However, I'm not executing this statement. Instead of double, so I think at the rate is data inserted. Yeah, here we need to write at the rate instead of double slash. In the case of MySQL, we need to write double slash here.
Okay.
Now let's see. It is. Yeah, it is. Now rest of the operation is same as, means only these two line we need to change. Rest of the update, delete, select, all these operation is goes in the same manner. So mainly with the Java, MySQL is mainly used because of open source. MySQL is open source database, and Java is also open source. Just hold on for 2 minutes. I am coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any doubt in this, Oracle?
No, I just need
Okay.
this.
Okay. Yes, you. Mm. Now, suppose one table is there. I want to match user ID. I want I want to write one login authentication applications. So in which I will provide user ID and password from this port, and I will just want to match that user ID password from the table. So I am creating one table here. Suppose login table. Table login user ID. Yeah, varchar data type is used for alphanumeric.
Yep.
If you want to store alphanumeric data, so this is used. So, inserting one record from here. Insert into. Okay, so this is admin and 1 2 3 4 5. Now I'm taking the input from user, enter user ID and password. I want to check that this user ID and password which is provided by a user, it matches with database. I want to match with database. If it's matched, then we need to print our message login success, otherwise login fail. So for this purpose, we need to execute select statement. Query select strict from login table where UID equals to UID column name is user ID and password. User ID and password equals to question mark. So in this query, two question mark is there, so we need to pass two values. Both is string, stat string. We want ID. Password. Now select statement is there, so our method is execute query. It will return result set. Now when I executed this query, suppose correct user ID and password is this one, admin and 1 2 3 4 5. If I provided a wrong user ID and password, then this prepare statement dot execute query, this method will return nothing. If we, this matching means where condition is not satisfied. If I provided suppose user ID is XYZ, when password is XYZ, okay, means it will not matches with database. Then your query become select star from login where user ID equals to XYZ, password equals to XYZ. Obviously, nothing record will be matched with this XYZ. So execute query method will return null value. Okay, if no record found in the database, and rs.next will return false. No matching record is there. So I am taking one integer variable, and if rs.next return true, then value of x will be changed from 0 to 1, and if value of x equals to 1 means it matches with the database. Login success. Thanks. When I providing correct output, correct input means user ID equals to admin, password equals to 1 2 3 4 5, then it will return some record into the result set. That time rs.next will return true because matching record is fine in the table. Then value of x will be in 1, then x equals to 1, then it will print a login success. Let's see. So, user ID admin. Okay, login success. When I again executing this code, and password something, login fail. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the code which we use. We will use in the next application which we are going to develop in the servlet and JSP. So these are four basic operations which we must know if you want to develop any project in Java. Now I will starting the next topic, that is web development. In the Java web development, web application development. The topic is servlet and JSP. Okay, these are two technologies for web development. For web development in Java, we use servlet and JSP. So first is the servlet, then JSP. After that, we, in the combinations of servlet, JSP, and JDBC, I will explain one small module project. Okay, and after that project, I will explain Hibernate and how we means why we use Hibernate instead of JDBC. All these comparison, all the code will be I will explain. So firstly, servlet. I started the servlet. Any doubt before starting the servlet?
Nothing in this. But in real time, how do we use this?
Yeah, real time. Yeah, with the project development means which servlet JSP or JDBC?
I mean, everything like JDBC and servlets. I mean, uh, possible, can you show something like in how we use the real time? I mean, after the sessions or something.
Yeah, in the any web development, if you develop any website in Java, then obviously we need to interact with the database. So that time JDBC is used with the Java.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but nowadays Hibernate is a replace means alternative of JDBC. That's why companies doesn't prefer the JDBC. They prefer the Hibernate instead of. I will explain. I will developing a small web application here. Then
Okay.
so for web development we require HTML. You
Yes.
know the HTML.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to create design a form for
Yeah.
user ID, password, and all this form. So firstly, I will explain servlet. After that, I will explain what HTML is. So these are technologies which is generally used nowadays for web development: servlet, JSP, and Hibernate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the web development, there is a two type of system. First one is a client. Second one is a server. So client, which one is a client? Either user, computer, or web browser. So remember, user is not client or computer is not client. Your web browser. Okay, when we type the URL www.google.com, so our web browser send the request from client side to server side. So client is not user is a client, not computer is a client. Web browser, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, this is the client. And on the other hand, server, what is server? So server is a not a hardware part. Server is a software. Okay, when we install that server software on any system, then that system becomes server. So server is not a hardware, it's a software. In the Java, we generally use Apache Tomcat server, and in the case of PHP, this WAMP, LAMP, and XAMPP server is used. WAMP stand for Windows Apache MySQL PHP. LAMP, Linux Apache MySQL PHP, and cross-platform Apache MySQL PHP. These are three most popular server which is used in the web development in PHP. And in case of .NET, IIS server is used, Internet Information Server. So we are learning Java, that's why we will deal with Apache Tomcat server. Okay. Now there is in the web application we need to design two type of pages. First one is static pages. Static pages generally used for designing purpose, and it is designed using HTML language, hypertext markup language. When you open any website, means when I open the facebook.com, so first page, that is login form, is common for all the user, so that page is a static page. Okay. Dynamic page means pages that that's content is changes rapidly. Okay. So when we log in the Facebook, then we will receive our own page. Means data which coming from the database, it belongs to the particular user. Okay. So that page is not same for all the user after login. Okay. That page content is different from user to user. So that page is known as a dynamic page. Okay. So there is a two type of pages. Static pages means common for all the user. When we open gmail.com, so first login form is common for all the user. So that page is a static page. And dynamic page, after login, we retrieve that pages, all the pages. That is dynamic because data is coming from server and it depends on the user which login. So for dynamic page development, we generally prefer these languages. If you if you developing the website in Java, then servlet JSP technology is used. If you want to develop the website in .NET, then ASP.NET is used, and in the PHP technology is used. Now, first servlet is a first web development technologies in the Java given by Sun Microsystem. Now, what is servlet? Servlet is a Java code that is run on server side and that extends the functionality of web server. See, suppose this is a web browser, and from the web browser I am sending a request to the web server, Tomcat server. and Tomcat server doesn't contain any servlet code. So which type of response it will generate? Obviously no, Tomcat server doesn't contain any servlet code, so nothing will be generated as a response, because servlet is a Java code that is executed in the server, and output of that Java code is printed on the web browser. Okay. So if web server doesn't contain any servlet code, so obviously nothing will be executed on the server side, and nothing response will be generated for the client. So no response for the client. Now suppose we have developed one login servlet, and their .class file we deployed on the web server. We have developed one more check balance servlet and deploy onto this server. Now two type of response generated by the web server. Okay. Web server, when any user send the user ID and password, then login servlet will check the user ID password from the database and it will return login success and login failed. So what is role of servlet here? It extends the functionality of zero. It extends the functionality of server. So before deploying these two servlets, functionality of server is zero, nothing. But when we deploy these two servlet on the server, then functionality is increased. So what is servlet? Servlet is a Java program that runs on Java server side, and that extends the functionality of web server. Now obviously when a user send the request, then it will execute it on the server side, and it will give some response message, and that response message will receive by the client on the web browser. Now so this is the definition of servlet: server side Java program that extends the functionality of web server. And in the web server, Tomcat server, there is a web container who is responsible for executions of servlet code in the Tomcat server web server. So web container is a part of web server which contain the JVM. Obviously every server contain the JVM. JVM is responsible for execution of our .class file.
Yes.
So web container is a part of a web server which is responsible for executions of servlet code, and web container internally contain the JVM. That's why web container, we say that web container is responsible for executions of servlet code in the Tomcat server. See in the more detail, web browser send the request to the web server in the form of URL. Okay, URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. This URL contains total 5 parts. First one, protocol name. HTTP is protocol name, hypertext transfer protocol, and this is the IP address of the machine, IP address of the system at which Tomcat server. As I told you, server is a software. So if you install that software on my laptop, then my laptop working as a server. So this is the IP address on which that Tomcat server software is installed. So this is the IP address. Then every application in our operating system must contain one integer value, that is port number. Just like in case of MySQL 3306 is there, Oracle 1521. So Tomcat server, this is the port number. So you, at the time of installation of Tomcat server, we can change this port number also. We can choose different port number, but this is a default port number. If you forget about change the port number, then by default it will take 8080. So 8080 is a default port number of Tomcat server. And in the server, this is the example is our application name. Okay, this is our application, means our folder name in which our all the servlet code will be stored. So this example is a folder name, or we can say the application name. And inside that application, hello servlet is our servlet name which we want to execute. So these are 5 components of URL. We need to write this complete URL in the web browser, and then when we press enter, then request will be gone to particular IP address machine, and in the machine 8080 is a port number, and this port number is reserved for Tomcat server. So request will automatically comes in the Tomcat server. Inside the Tomcat server, it find the example application name. If it find the example application, then inside execution will go inside the example application, and inside the example application it will find hello servlet code. And if it find the hello servlet code, then it will execute that hello servlet code, and response will be generated, and that response is printed on the web browser, and website is opening. So firstly, execution will be comes in the machine, which is such a which is identified by the IP address. After that, execution will be going to the Tomcat server, which is identified by the port number, and inside the Tomcat server, web container is there that contain all the web applications. So it will searches the example, where is your example application is there. Then it comes in the example, and here there is a 3 servlet is deployed in the example folder: my servlet, test servlet, and hello servlet. So it will check that in the URL hello servlet is there, then it will matches with hello servlet, and it will execute this web container, execute this hello servlet, and output of this hello servlet dot class is printed on the web browser. So this is a way how we access the web application. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so when we are executing our code, then this is the URL that you can find. So if you know the port number and IP address of Google, Facebook, so we can also open that website using IP address and port number. But it's very it's not possible to remember all the IP address and port number of all the website, Yahoo, Google, Facebook. That's why they created a domain name system. Domain means facebook.com. So facebook.com or gmail.com or google.com, this name contain two things: IP address and port number. Okay, so this IP address and port number replaced by some DNS, domain name system, which we have chosen at the time of website registration, .com, .co, .in, any extension you can type. So that domain name is replaced by this IP address and port number. Now features of servlet. These two features of servlet is security. Java internally provide the security, so this feature is common for all the topic in Java, security. And session management, yeah, I will explain later what is session. It's a very important concept. Now in the programmatically, one servlet class hierarchy is there, in which on the top level 3 interfaces is there: servlet, servlet config, and serializable. And this all interfaces is inherited by the one class, generic servlet, and one derived class from the generic servlet is HTTP servlet class, and on the bottom side user defined class is there, which is our servlet code which we are going to write. So when we creating our servlet code, then that our class must inherit HTTP servlet class. So when just like when we, if you want to create a multi-threading program, then we need to extend the thread class. In the same way, if you want to develop servlet code, then we need to inherit HTTP servlet class. So this servlet means web development. When we using servlet, then that servlet code doesn't contain main function. Okay, because we are not going to execute the servlet code from command prompt. Okay, so Java C and Java command is not used. Means Java command is not used for execution. We will execute the servlet code from the web browser. When we type URL and when we press enter, then request will become in the server and it will execute the servlet code, and response will be printed on the web browser. So this servlet code doesn't contain main function. So if Java code doesn't contain main function, then that time they contain life cycle method. See, so when there is a 3 life cycle method of servlet. So when we writing the first servlet code, then we need to write these 3 life cycle method: init, service, and destroy method. Service is a very important method. Means we need to write all the code, JDBC code and all the code which you want to write. We need to write inside the service method. Init method and destroy method is optional. There is no necessary condition to write init method and destroy method. Now interview question is that when init method is invoked. See, when we write servlet code and when we deploy that servlet code on the server, then if user access that servlet first time, if this is the first request for the servlet, not for the client, okay, it's a first request for the servlet. So first of all, init method is executed. After that, execution will be go automatically into the service method, and service method contain all the business logic code. All the our code will be we need to write in the service method. Then that code will be executed and response will be written by the service method to the web browser. So init method is called only first when first request is coming from the client side. When other requests, if a user send the second or other request, then that request directly hit to the service method. So in the life cycle of servlet code, init method is executed only one time. When first time a servlet is invoked from the web browser. Service method is invoked n number of times. Whenever you access that servlet from the web browser, service method will be executed. And destroy method never executed. When we delete, it will also executed one time. When we delete the servlet code from the server, that time destroy method is invoked. So we never delete the servlet code from the server, so destroy method is not executed. So only service method is very important, which is always executed when any request coming from the client side. So we will write all this code in the service method. Now this is the software which we required. JDK, obviously JDK must be required, and Tomcat server, and in the IDE Eclipse or NetBeans we can use. Now how to develop and run servlet code. I am creating a new project here, so just go into the file new, and here just click on other options, and here you will find dynamic web application. Dynamic web project. In the web, under the web model, dynamic web project. Just click on next. Yeah, before creating this web application, you need to install the Tomcat server. So you can download the Tomcat server from Google. Type of exe you can find from the Google Apache Tomcat 7.0. You just need to double click on this Tomcat server, and just next and finish. No special requirement for installation of Tomcat server. We need to connect this Tomcat server with the Eclipse. So when you creating a dynamic web project, then here you need to provide the application name, and here we need to connect the Tomcat server. So just click on new runtime. In my Eclipse it already connected, that's why giving the option. So here you can connect, from here you can connect the Tomcat server Apache, then which version we have downloaded from internet, 7.0. Next, this is the way how we can connect the Tomcat server to the Eclipse, and here we need to provide the installation directory of Tomcat. So when we install Tomcat server, then by default it will store in the C drive program file. Then one folder is there, Apache Software Foundation, and here Tomcat 7.0 version. This directory is generated when we installing Tomcat server. So this path we need to provide here in the Tomcat installation directory from C drive to Tomcat 7.0. And by default it will take all these ARE and all this. Just click on finish. This means we need to connect Tomcat server with Eclipse only one time. Next time it will automatically connect. Next time, finish. Here. So here my first app project is created, and inside this my first app I am creating one servlet code, servlet program. So just right click on this root folder and click on the new, and here you can find servlet. This is the servlet. Just click here. Package name, yeah, if you want to store this .java file inside any package, then just write the package name and this hello servlet. And the base class as per servlet hierarchy, our base class of servlet is HTTP servlet. Then just click on the next, Next. And this is the life cycle method. Means instead of override the service method, there is a two sub method is there. Do get and do post. These two method is mainly used. Do get and do post. Okay. So we will not override the service method. We only override the do get or do post. Now what is difference between both? I will explain later. So just click on the finish button. So this is the code, means hello servlet, then extend HTTP servlet. And here two method you can see that public void do get and do post. I am deleting all this content here. Now here I want to print hello servlet. So actually we can't use system.out.println here because we don't want to print the content on the console. We want to print all the content in the web browser. So system.out.println is not used here. If I remove the system class from here, then it will give the error what is out object, because out object is internally defined inside the system class. So here it will give the error. I need to declare what is out object. So here out is the object of print writer class. Print writer. So we need to create object of print writer class out. Now I want to print all this stuff on the web browser, and when request is coming from the web browser into the servlet, then servlet will return the response using this response object. So in the doGet method you can find two objects. First one is a request object, second one is a response object. So I want to print all this stuff as a response on the web browser. So I will initialize this out object using response object. So method will be response.getWriter. So every time when you want to declare out object, define the out object, you need to write this line: print writer out equals to response.getWriter. Now when we using the out object, then it always printed this stuff on the web browser. We need to import the package. Print writer class belongs to IO package. Yeah, work is completed. So our code is completed, means we simply created the out object, and using this out object I am printing the hello on the web browser. Now I want to execute this code. Just right click on this code and go in the run as option and run on server option is there. Just click on that, and Tomcat server, which we already defined our code, I want to run on the Tomcat server. So just click on the next and finish. This Tomcat server is started. This is not error, it's showing in the red color, but it's not error. This is the hello is the output. Okay, so this output is printed on, it's the URL. HTTP is already there by default. Localhost means right now my client and server is on in the same system machine. That's why localhost is there. And this is the port number. So at the time of Tomcat installation, I provide the port number 8989. That's why it is visible here. And this application name, which I have created my first app. So this is application name, and in this application name my servlet name is hello servlet. So this is the URL, and when we type this URL and press enter, then it will execute this hello servlet code inside the server, and it will return the response hello message, and this hello message is printed here. I want to format, means I want to show this hello in the bigger font. Then we need to use HTML code for formatting all this content. For heading purpose, h1 tag is used. H1. 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 Or I want to print in the red color, then font tag is used. So you need to write all the HTML code inside the outdoor printer. Again executing. It will print hello in the left field. So this is the first hello servlet code. Any doubt?
No.
Now I want to create one login application. So for user ID and password, I am creating one HTML file here. So just right click here and click on new, and one HTML file is there. Name of HTML file is login.html, and here I want to design one login form. So in the HTML, if you want to design any login form, then firstly form tag is there. Label user ID. For creating text field, input type equals to text. And if you want to retrieve the data from this text field, name attribute is used. Name equals to UID. So it will design one login form. Password field, one submit button. Type submit. Let's see. Just right click on login.html. Run as run on server. So this is my first application, and login.html pages. User ID, password, login button. Now when I press login button, then execution will be directly goes into the which form. So I want to divert the execution to the hello servlet code. This code. So here we need to provide action. Action means which page you want to access after submitting this form. So I want to access hello servlet. So I am writing hello servlet. And the method in which method through which I want to transfer the data. So data will be transferred from this HTML page to the hello servlet. So there is a two type of method. Method equals to two method we can write here. First one is get, and second one is post. Now what is difference between both? Firstly, I am using get method. When executing this code, see, I am writing the username, suppose admin, and password is admin. So I write password as an admin, but nobody can see what is the password because of this password field showing the dot dot. But what happened when I submit this code, then it will access the hello servlet code. Here you can find, yeah, it's connected with the hello servlet. But if you see the URL, then you can easily find what is your user ID, admin, and what is your password field value, admin. So anybody can easily see what is your password. So this how this HTML page transfer the data to the servlet using URL appending. It append all the data with the URL and transfer that data from the HTML code to servlet code. So why appending the data on the URL? Because we have used the method get. Get method transfer the data from HTML page to servlet code by URL append. Okay, it will append the data to the URL and transfer the data to the servlet. So that's why we generally don't prefer the get method. Prefer using post method. See. Post method transfer the data in the packet format. So it will never you can never see the URL. So it's a more secure technique. The hello servlet is there, but you are unable to find where is the user ID and password because it transferred the data in the packet format. So it's a secure technique. So that's why we generally prefer post method instead of get method. That is difference between get and post. Is that clear?
Yes. In Servlet, we have used the do get and do post, right?
Yes, yes. So
What?
here if your method is get, okay, if you define method is get, then you need to write the code in the do get method. Okay.
Okay.
Right now we here it invoking do post if I am commenting this code. Okay. So we are printing the hello in the doGet method. Okay, and if I write here post method, then if I write post here, then it will automatically invoke the do post method. Okay, and here in the body of do post method nothing is there, so you will get the blank page. Let's see. So if your method equals to that, then you need to write all the code in the do get, and if your method equals to post, then you need to write inside the do post method. So this is a blank output. Why blank? Because it invoking the do post method, and do post method that doesn't contain any code.
Okay.
If I write method equals to get, then it will invoke. That's why servlet provide two methods, because using HTML form you can transfer the data and using two methods, get and post. Yeah, I was printed and URL you can see. So for security purpose, we only prefer post method.
Yes.
Now I want to cache the values from the HTML form, and I want to check that it's admin. I want to match that user ID and password with the admin. I am not matching from the database. I will simply add hard code. I will do hard code here. I want to check that user ID is admin or not and password is admin or not. If user ID and password is equals to admin, then I want to print the message login success. So I want to retrieve the data from HTML form, and here method name equals to post. So I will write the code in the do post method. Here I want to retrieve the data which is coming from HTML form. So UID equals to method. We need to use request object here because data is coming as a request. So request, there is a method for retrieving data from HTML form, request dot get parameter. In this method we need to pass the argument. One argument is there, means which fields value you want to access. So there is a two field. First one is user ID, second one is password. So name of this user ID is UID and password is password. So this name you need to use in the request.get parameter. So if U is capital, then you need to write the exactly same name, UID. Second, password field name is password in the HTML file. Now I am simply matching this UID and PWD with admin. So equals method is there for string comparison. In Gmail and Facebook, you can provide user ID in capital letter or small letter, doesn't matter, because it uses ignore case method.
Okay.
Use ignore case admin. And password is case sensitive because it matches with the equals method. Here now it's success. Again I am going to use out object, so we need to create object print writer class here. Now it's success. Admin printed login success. In case of login user ID and password, login field is there. If means if your system connected with another system, another computer, then instead of writing localhost, if you are writing here IP address, how you can find IP address here? Just go open the command prompt and and just type here ipconfig command. You can find your IPv4 address equals to 192.168.0.4. So instead of writing localhost 192.168.0.4, this you can also access this. Just write this URL. Yeah, if your laptop, if your system and your mobile connected to the same Wi-Fi device, okay, so you can write this URL on your mobile web browser. Okay, so you can easily access that page on your mobile web browser. Let's try this. Okay.
Okay.
You have the you have the laptop and your laptop and mobile. Firstly, connect your mobile and laptop with the same Wi-Fi, and just write this code on your laptop and
Yeah.
type this URL. Means take
Yeah.
your IP address and type this URL on your mobile web browser, and when you provide the input, then it will give the same response. So it's a web application, so we can access from anywhere. So this here we can write JDBC code also. Here right now we have done the hard code. Means our user ID must be admin and password must be admin. So instead of writing here, we can copy and paste that database connectivity code here. First is in the same step of the JDBC. First we need to import the package. The package is SQL package, and I am copy that code. This class.funny correction. Okay, so same code we can write with the servlet also. Here my user ID, which is coming from HTML page, is UID and password is PWD. We need to pass this two value here, UID and PWD. And rest of the code is same. We need to surround this code in the package block. Is that clear what I have done? Okay, this is a user ID and password coming from HTML page, and the same JDBC code which we have gone through in the previous program. I copy paste here, and this user ID and password I am passing with this, and I establish the connection with Oracle database. Now I am executing this code. Admin and the Oracle password is 12345. Yeah, giving the exception class not found. I will to connect this driver, Oracle driver, with this application also. So same jar file which we have downloaded, just copy this jar file, and here you need to paste in the lib folder. Okay.
Okay.
This is a web application, so don't need to. You can also in the previous project we just right click on this JDBC project and we click on the build path, and here we have. But here this is a web application. You can find the lib folder is there in the web app directory lib folder. So you simply copy and paste that jar file in the mid folder. So it will connect it, automatically connected to your code. Again execute. So it matches with the Oracle database. Login success. So the same JDBC code you can write inside the do get or do post method. I think it's enough for today's session. Just need to do practice.
Yeah.
Stop it. Okay.
Can you send the programs?
Yeah, I will send this program.